kitchen and get to rest. Don't make me get up now, Jimmy. I want to rest right now.
Okay, I will get the rice. But do you spell rice with a capital 7 or a lowercase?
Jimmy, get the rest. 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 Jimmy, get the rest.
Okay, but I'm so tired. I gotta sit down for a second.
Get off your ass, Jimmy. I wanted the rice. I need the rice. We can't have tender middles until you get up and get that fucking rice. So get off your ass, go to your kitchen, and get the damn rice.
Okay, but after I'm done watching my favorite cartoon. I seem to have shit my pants again. Oh no.
Jimmy, get the rice. 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 You fucking idiot. I'm not asking for anything hard here.
All right, guys. Today, guys, I hope you're excited. We're probably going to watch the worst video quality we've ever seen. It's alien structures on the moon and Mars from 1996, guys. What a great year. Hanford, you little bastard. Hit the lights. Thank you, Hanford. All right, guys. Let's watch this crap. This is really bad video quality, just so you know. 1996, guys. You ready? We're going to learn some cool shit.
Thank you. I don't need that. Just turn it off. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I want to thank Global Sciences for inviting me here.
That looks like a trustworthy guy.
Dean, I want to thank all of you for coming.
No, dude, we're going to Mars.
I'm wired everywhere.
What do you call that haircut?
And I want to thank my wife, because if it wasn't for her, I would not be speaking any longer.
Anything to get out of the house, right, dude?
I want to just give you
Hey, because of my wife, I'm talking about Mars just to get out of the house.
a brief background on how this all started for me. I grew up, for the most part, in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, and my grandparents had a cabin up in Woodstock, Michigan, which is in northern Michigan. And we were up there in August of 1964, and I experienced missing time. We had gone out to play into the fields.
Does this look any better? Sometimes it smooths the video out.
And I laid down in the tall grass, and I can remember throwing chestnuts out of the way to create a place for myself to lay. And when I fell asleep, and when I woke up, it was almost going on 9 o'clock. And I remember getting up and running back to the picnic area where the family was, and there was a police dog, a Michigan State police car there, and my folks and cousins, because it was kind of a family thing because everybody goes back to school. And I got the tar licked out of me for disappearing.
Nick's kitchen.
And I told them where I had been, and they didn't believe me, so I took them back to where I was with the flashlights, and sure enough, there was my body imprint, and they swore they had been all through that area looking for me. It wasn't until age 14 that I actually understood what had happened then.
It was the aliens, of course.
It was just a normal night. It was in October.
Yeah, right. Who filmed shit in black and white in 1996?
And there were two men looking down at me. And They were human beings, except they have no hair.
What?
And their skin is light blue, or at least Morine, the very large one. His skin is light blue. Phaseus is the elderly one, and I'll give you a brief background on them. Has turned white because of his age, but they are blue-skinned. They say that they are our cousins, and that we actually have some of their genetics inside of us.
Why aren't people just walking out? Now's the time to walk
came
out.
From Lyra, as all human life did in our galaxy. Human life does exist in other galaxies as well, and
space fruits.
There's a lot going on. Okay. I was taken out of bed many times. I was given information. I was given physicals. I was given brain scans.
As someone who looked a lot like my uncle.
I was shown, they put a little cap on my head and they showed me who I was in past lives and my
And it had a propeller on top.
direct connection to them and my connection to the Earth. And then there were no more contacts after age 14. There was one at 16, but it was a physical. I was not awakened.
Sounds a lot like an uncle to me. He stopped touching me after 14.
It wasn't until 1985 that the contacts started again on a regular basis. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, just to give you an idea of where I was in 1985, I had worked for a few years for the Internal Revenue Service.
Oh, figures.
I had been a tax collector, and I was assigned to and I'm ashamed to say it, but I was a good tax collector. And for the lady and the people who were talking about the IRS, I'm just going to give you this while it's...
Man, this tax collecting business is just downright evil. I'm going to go lie about aliens.
And it's fresh. I was assigned to a task force that was supposed to do undercover work for oil company fraud. And our training was to be in Washington, D.C., and while I was there, I used my security pass to get into the National Archives.
Oh, shit. Another CIA guy.
And you're not allowed to really make copies of things when you're in the National Archives unless your security clearances was much higher than what mine was. And I'm going to tell you this as having been with the Internal Revenue Service. The Internal Revenue Service is a Puerto Rican trust. It is a 3-tier trust. I don't know what the...
I was like the pruds in the crowd. Yeah, Puerto Rican trust. They don't know what he's saying. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Third tier is, which is the bottom line, but it's Internal Revenue Service, Puerto Rican Trust number 62.
Are you saying this is Irvin R. Shyster?
I can't tell you what the third one is because it wasn't there.
I have that information.
Great. People need to know. Also, none of the federal income tax laws are actually in the Federal Register, therefore they are not laws. They are codes.
Uh-oh.
You also need to be aware of that.
Don't listen to this guy or you'll end up like Wesley Snipes.
Anyway, I left the Internal Revenue Service and I opened up my own accounting practice. I started helping people with IRS collection problems because that's not something that you can learn going to tax school or going to a university. You have to have on-the-job training. Well, I started my practice, took the CPA exam.
Hey, aliens, please.
For 5 years, I had a practice in Beverly Hills.
I want aliens.
I was living on a 700-acre horse ranch in Malibu at the time the contacts restarted. Now, within 2 months of the contacts restarting, I totally walked away from my tax practice. And I just realized that a lot of it was just BS.
Cool.
And it just wasn't working for me. I had made some major shifts in a very short time.
Oh, he's probably both. He's probably both kind of weirdos.
The contacts have been relatively continuous.
That's what happened to Wesley Snipes. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said to the judge. But this guy on YouTube said I didn't have to pay my taxes.
They're both physical as well as telepathic.
CP aliens.
And folks, some of this information is going to be enlightening. some of it's going to really bother you.
Oh, shit.
And I'm sorry to be the one to have to tell you that we have a very serious problem on our hands. Okay? And it is just not the federal government. It just is not. There is a much bigger scheme going on here.
We're going to learn the truth, guys.
It involves extraterrestrials who are interested in us as souls. You might refer to the Bible, you might refer to whatever texts or religion you have, but there definitely is a battle of good and evil going on out there, and part of it has to do with us and our solar system because of its
I totally believe you, crazy hair guy.
location and the minerals that are here. The regressives, and we're going to talk a little bit about that after I show you the moon pictures, don't give a damn about us. We are a natural resource. Okay? Be really clear when I say this. We are a natural resource to them.
Bitch, please.
They don't care who you are inside.
Bitch, please.
They don't care.
Not even a little?
As far as the federal government, we watched the movie Rob Roy the other night, and there was a line in that movie that sums it up perfectly. The government believes truth to be a lie undiscovered.
Who was in Rob Roy? Oh, man.
But that's really where it's at. That's really where it's at. They are so screwed up that I don't believe they even really remember.
That was a good movie, by the way.
What the bottom line is now. Okay. If some of you are familiar with Hoagland's information, I think Richard does a good job, but I'm just
Richard Hoagland. We got to watch some of that guy's shit.
Share with you a personal experience that I had with Richard in Los Angeles. I was speaking in Los Angeles. I've spoken along the West Coast quite a bit, in Texas. And there was somebody from Showtime who was doing a private screening in a hotel room of the movie Roswell, the Showtime movie Roswell they put together. Well, I was invited to go in there. Well, Richard was sitting in the back on a chair.
But he ended up clogging the toilet. And then they threw me out. But I had to do with aliens.
I'm not reading any more into this. I'm just sharing with you my experience with him one-on-one. I sat down to him and I just looked him straight in the eye, and he didn't have a clue who I was. And I said, Richard, why don't you tell people that the moon is an artificial satellite? And he just looked at me and he says, I'm not ready to.
That's another thing with these conspiracy dorks. They all fucking underhandedly like insult each other. Hey, that guy won't give you the answers. You got to come to me if you want the true shit.
All right? That's my personal experience. It's the only one I have. I think his information is good. But I'm telling you, from my own experience, he's withholding. And I don't understand why he's withholding.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
I can verify that.
Okay? Because you, me, our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren are the ones at stake here.
Yeah, I'm pissed.
We don't have anywhere else to go. We don't have any place to hide. This planet is our home. It's our home.
It's our home, guys. It's where we keep our stuff.
And I'm just trying to help. I only have a piece of the puzzle. I don't have the whole puzzle. I think if I did, I'd be dead long time ago. Mm-hmm. But I think I like years and years ago I shit on Richard Hoagland on his page, and I think he may have threatened to call the cops on me. I'm going to share with you stuff
that was so long ago.
I have been guided to. That's on the far side of the moon. I don't deal with the physical side.
On his Facebook, I was all drunk one night. I'm like, you're full of shit, you old cocksucker. You contact me again, I'm calling the police.
As the right hand is moving here, the left hand's doing something else. Well, the left hand is the far side of the moon. If you remember the movie Apollo 13, if you remember the movie Apollo 13, what? Move over? Oh, it's the lights. Okay. If you remember the movie Apollo 13, all hell's broken loose. They don't know if they're getting home. But they were so concerned about checking out and taking pictures of the far side of the moon. And here they are, they can't get home, but their focus wasn't on getting home. It was seeing what was on the far side of the moon. That is a true enactment, folks. Now I'm going to show you some of the things that are
Here we go.
Now, so you may have trouble adjusting your eyes to seeing some of this. Some of the things you will not have any trouble whatsoever. These photographs, I was told specifically where to look, were taken by the Lunar Orbiter 4 from August of 1966 to August
Finally,
of
some proof.
1967. They show so much. Apollo 13. What? Move over? Oh, it's the lights. Okay.
Roll Alan
Remember
Sprig
the
out?
Apollo 13? All hell's broken loose. They don't know if they're getting home. But they were so concerned about checking out and taking pictures of the far side of the moon.
I gotta see
Here
it.
they are. They might get home, but their focus wasn't on getting home. It was seeing what was on the far side of the moon. That is a true enactment, folks.
All right, let's see
Now,
some
I'm going to show
pictures.
you some of the things that are there. Now, so you may have trouble adjusting your eyes to seeing some of this. Some of the things you will not have any trouble whatsoever. These
But
photographs.
some of it is real. It's really just bullshit, and you'll see it.
I was told specifically where to look, were taken by the Lunar Orbiter 4 from August of 1966 to August of 1967. They show so much. I mean, if you know what you're looking for, it's unbelievable.
Oh, shit.
It's unbelievable.
I can read the pixels.
You know, and there's no way our astronauts missed this stuff. There's just no way. 21-mile bridges, 7-mile monuments, ships sitting in the middle of craters. I mean, you're going to see it. Okay?
I can't wait.
I'll tell you what the Andromedans, Morine and Theseus have said about the moon.
Yeah, the old dudes, they can't take it when you goof on them on Facebook. They immediately go, I'm calling the police.
And I want to take questions, so I want to get through this. They have said that our moon is an artificial satellite. In fact, it is a spacecraft. Much of the debris on the
When I did that, though, that was like in 2007. It was a long time
was
ago.
put there and was built purposely to make it look like what it isn't. Okay, it is hollow, it is metal underneath it,
Duh.
and it has the ability to leave our orbit under its own power.
I'm excited.
They say it came from Ursa Minor, from a solar system that would have the symbol or would have the name in our language of Chauta. It was one of 4 moons that rotated around the 17th planet. Now, it was built. This sounds just like Star Wars. It was built around that 17th planet. It was then
I want pictures,
into
dude.
the tail of a comet
What?
and then dragged here. And when it got to this area, it removed itself, and the first place it parked itself in our solar system was the planet that we now know of as Maldek, which is the asteroid belt. It was one
I
of
never heard of a planet called Maldek.
2 moons that belonged there. Maldek was the first inhabited planet in our solar system. It was very much like Earth. Mars and our planet were terraformed.
I knew it.
Maldek, or Malona, or whatever name
I think he means Melmac. It doesn't mean Maldek. He means Melmac.
you want to call it. It was terraformed. In other words, all the plant life and everything that is on the surface and animal life was brought here. It was brought here. Science
That's right.
science tells us that, everything started with a single cell. The
Where, of
Andromedans
course, the great Alf came from.
laughed at that. And Theseus said to me, well, if that's true, then how does that one cell know to become a brain cell and a kidney cell?
You know what, motherfucker? Every time. Why does it do it? Hold on, guys. I need the Chatamabob to work. Guy should have said something. I need the Chatamabob. There we go. Fuck. We're only fucking 13 minutes in, stupid Chatamabob. Sorry, guys.
I couldn't.
Guys, there's some really good comments in there. You might have to go frame by frame.
He says it isn't possible. Our solar system has been engineered, built and engineered. Okay? The whole solar system. We're going to get into some more of that, but I want to get going on the slides. Honey,
Finally.
you want to come up and help us?
This is where it gets good.
Let's see.
It's hot, okay?
Okay, according to the Andromedans. Now, folks, I just want you to keep an open mind.
To the Andromedans?
I'm not asking you to believe this. I'm sharing
Okay, good.
information with you. If you choose not to believe it, hey, that's fine. I ask
Thanks,
you to
bro.
exercise your free will. And if this gets too much for you and you don't want to listen, I've already checked. None of these chairs have seatbelts. You can absolutely leave. I will not.
Yeah, see what he's saying? Dude, I'm going to fucking just pour a gallon of shit all over your head if you want to leave. Now's the time to do it. Don't come to me later complaining about the gallon of shit I dumped on you when I gave you the out. That's what he's doing.
Be offended. I don't like doing this anyway. I would much rather stay home and raise a family.
Okay.
I made a promise.
They always do that. Hey, guys, I don't have to be here, you know.
And, we want to have a family.
Trigger warning, exactly.
I have pieces of the puzzle, and if I don't do anything about it, then I'm just as guilty as the NSA astronauts and the Russian astronauts that have been on the moon and been on Mars since 1958. Okay. Lights, please. The light. There we go. Okay. Our galaxy.
There it is.
Can we raise it up?
I can see all you guys right now.
No, we need something, a videotape or something to put underneath it.
Yeah, you could have planned this before the talk, dude.
That's it. That's it. Thank you very much. Okay, we can lower that. No, here. Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the Andromedan, space travel
He just doxed us, guys. We all live in there.
has existed in our galaxy for 4.4
Be quiet.
billion years. Okay, we are literally the new kids on the block.
Oh.
All right?
Time. That was an old reference in 1996.
What's interesting about our galaxy is...
You alright, little guy? You better be spooked.
All right. Space travel has existed for 4.4 billion years. The interesting thing about our galaxy is the fact that we have many different races living here. In particular, the human race, which we are a member of.
That is goat's bunghole. It's just the colors are inverted. That's the negative. That's the negative of goat's butthole.
And what we call the reptilian races.
Marky Mark
which
does
we
look
are
like
not
an
a part
alien.
of, but who very much don't like us, like the human race. Apparently this battle that's been going on has been going on for approximately 3.8 billion years between reptilian races
That's a
and
lot of
human
years.
races. Many of the races that exist in our galaxy migrated originally from Lyra during a war.
Yeah, how do you know that? How do you know? You're just saying things. How do you know this?
Apparently, sometime in our ancient...
Apparently. You don't want to use the term apparently when you're talking about aliens. Aliens.
A group of reptilians were exploring...
What? How do you know that? I'm sorry, guys. I just think it's funny they just start saying stuff and he doesn't say how he found out.
Minerals, looking for food resources. They came across a star system that was full of human beings who were agricultural in their nature. Abundant food. They just had everything together. And the reptilian races, they're called the Seacar. In the Andromedan tongue, we know them, or we would know them as being known as the Draconians because they're from Alpha Draconis. And apparently they as a race were brought to our galaxy.
You got any documents?
Fully formed. Nobody knows where they came from or who dumped them there. But they were put there because it gave them the highest probability of survival. Well, they're a remarkable race. They're incredible builders, but they have an attitude problem. And that is that they believe...
That sounds horrifying. Just a bunch of...
that they are the dominant species and they control everything else. And they are also master geneticists. They value genetics, not gold or silver. They have no interest in that. It's life forms. And they try to control life forms through manipulating their genetics. We have also been subject to that. I'm going to try to cover a lot here.
Here we go, guys.
Anyway, there was a war. They were attacked. Many of the human races fled to Antares, to the Pleiades, to Cygnus Alpha, to Andromeda, to Cassiopeia, to Sirius, to Procreon, all over. They just scattered to the
Cassiopeia.
winds, trying to survive.
Cassiopeia makes really bad keyboards and watches.
Next slide, please. This
Look
is
at that!
where our small little area is located. That which we see in the sky, this is where it's located. As you can see, we are in the sticks, the boonies. We really are. And this is why we've been manipulated and messed with so much as a planet and as a race. Because we have been, for the most part,
We're country bumpkins.
for the most part, considered insignificant. And then roughly 5,000 years ago, somehow they found out that we were no longer insignificant, and I will tell you why. According to the Andromedans, in our physical form right now, in our genetics, we have within us the DNA of 22 different extraterrestrial races who
I figured it'd be something like this.
have come down here and manipulated.
You've had your Casio
bred
keyboard since
with us,
1986?
who have
Yeah, but I bet it's mono, isn't it? But it's not even in stereo.
tinkered with us, everything imaginable. And that somehow we have all this inside of us. Plus the fact that we're coupled with spirit.
He's right.
And this is something that the Greys have a major problem with. And I will cover that as well.
Greys.
Now, because we are the only race in our galaxy that has these genetics of 22 different races, because we are also spirit,
Man, we just got porked by all kinds of aliens. Aliens came here and just started porking.
they consider us royalty. The Andromedans consider us as royalty. Now, one of the factors that they look at, and the thing that totally awes them the most, is the fact
He looks like a dude who would bang some aliens.
that many of the more advanced races use technology to create things, to manifest things. The Andromedans are heavily use holographics. Whatever they need, they create holographically. It is physically there, but when they're done with it, they turn off the switch and it's gone. It doesn't just sit there. All right? Like if you go home and your couch, you go away for a year, that couch sits right there. They are amazed at how much energy we put into creating things. Things. Just things. Little tchotchkes that you put on the shelf. Books. You know, all those things take an intense amount of energy
Where did you find this out, little guy? I think he learned all this from Toddster's janitor friend.
to create. They're amazed that we have this ability.
But yeah, we never
The other
did
thing
get to hear
that
about the bug
amazes them
people.
Is they're also amazed at how easily we can allow our own kind to starve, to go homeless, and to kill each other.
Always new age
They
crap.
do not understand that at all. Okay?
Oh, they make so much good crepe, but they let their own mother starve in the street. That's why they're in the sticks. Yep, always new age crap.
Destroy our environment. One experience, I'll give you two experiences. One experience was with Theseus. I had just come up on board, and I was being led into a room, and Theseus had been watching a television transmission from Chicago, and policemen had just shot a black man that was running away. And
Here we go. How topical.
then the policeman apparently ran over and tried to save his life. Okay?
See, that's when bitches were cool. They were laughing at that
He
shit.
turns to me and he says, I don't understand your race. I don't understand why one would try to take his life and then the next minute try to save it. I didn't
I understand now why you cry. Credits roll.
have an answer. In fact, many times I don't have an answer. Another time, I came on board. I was living in Lake Arrowhead at the time.
And the aliens asked me, why do they call them Apple Jacks when they don't taste like apples? Whoop, 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 whoop.
Renee was looking at a group of meters on the ceiling of his ship, and it was all about the ozone and the air, oxygen content in our atmosphere. And he looked very distressed, and I said, "What's the matter?" And he said, "Don't they understand that all of this is here because they need it? They don't understand how we can just so carelessly destroy our environment." Now, folks, I want to share something with you.
No way. Littering is cool.
If there was not divine intervention, which apparently there has been, March 23rd,
All the cool kids litter and destroy the environment.
1994. If there has not been divine intervention, and I will cover that, according to the Andromedans, we would only have 41 years left worth of oxygen in our environment. 3,500 years ago, the oxygen content, they say, was at 35, fluctuated between 35 and 38.
Hey, could you stop that, aliens? I've had enough oxygen. I had enough oxygen for 3 lifetimes. Just stop it. Let's go. Let's end it.
Percent between the North and South Poles. Today, at its highest level, it's less than 18%.
Whoa.
Now, those of you who took biology, what happens to the human form when oxygen as a gas goes below 15%?
They grow another set of testicles.
We die. We suffocate.
Oh. I was close.
This is reality, folks. This is reality. This is not Peter Jennings. Okay? This, you know... I mean,
Stop
we
laughing
don't
at
have
me. Stop laughing at me.
Anywhere else to go. You know, and for those, and this is just what I've been told, and for those of you who think there's going to be a rapture, you might be disappointed.
Fuck you, bro. I'm getting raptured.
And I'm not saying this to question your belief. I'm just telling you that there are much bigger...
I used to know this atheist guy, and every time he'd bring up, like, I don't know, some world-ending shit, I'd be like, I don't care. I'm getting raptured. He'd get so mad. You're not getting raptured. Yes, I am.
forces going on here. Okay, next slide, please. Save the question, sir, for later, okay, please? Next slide, please. Okay, this is our solar system. There is life in all of these systems surrounding us. They have been coming here for years. For years they've been coming here.
At least since the 70s.
Okay, mythology, there's a shred of truth in all of it. The work that Zecharia Sitchin is doing, an absolutely fantastic book is called The Gods of Eden by William Bramley. I would suggest that those of you who have not read it, go get it in paperback version. It'll bring you right up to speed right away. It's wonderful. And he's not a UFO person, which is why I enjoyed it even more. All the truths, just let him right to it. In fact, there's more truth that the aliens are out there than they aren't. They just don't want you to know because they don't want you to know who you are.
Yeah,
because
those bastards.
Minute we wake up, the game's over. They cannot control us. And if you look at our past history, if you read Zecharia Sitchin's books,
Nothing good has ever came from Zecharia Sitchin. Such crap.
Race, when we stand together, rebel against the gods, the ETs.
Nympho gray aliens?
We rebel because they have been, pardon my French, shitting on us for thousands and thousands and thousands of years and holding us back. Next slide, please. Okay, here's Earth. If we could just get a focus, thanks, honey. This is what's left of Maldek. You know the series of planets. The moon is not the only artificial. There are 9 artificial moons in our solar system, and I will share with you later what those are. I just want to cover a lot of information. Okay, next slide. Okay.
That's us.
Okay, this is the typical and traditional picture. Does that look focused to you?
Yeah.
This guy's gonna lose his shit on this projector person.
Okay, maybe it doesn't. Okay, this is the traditional picture that we see of Earth. We got an awesome home, folks. It's one of the nicest ones around. But there are some things about our planet that have been withheld from us. For example, our Earth is, in fact, hollow.
What?
It is hollow.
Why are you clapping? When someone every time says the Earth's hollow, you just start clapping? You don't know if the Earth's hollow.
The next slide, I'm going to show you a NASA photograph that proves that there's an opening at the North Pole.
Here we go.
Okay? You
Finally.
can find this photograph in a book called Our Violent Universe by Nigel Calder. It was first released in England, and I don't know how this one slipped through the cracks.
Of course, his name was Nigel. You don't find people named Nigel in Idaho.
But it did. Thank goodness.
Ursula's boobs? Where?
We are told that the gravity of our planet has to do with the rotation according to the Andromedans and their science, the radiation of the sun is what causes gravity on planets. And any body, planetary body that is approximately 29.3 miles or larger is capable of sustaining gravity because of the radiations of the sun.
Oh, okay.
Now, I realize that flies right in the face of what we've been taught. Well, again, I'm just here sharing with you. If you were to go from the surface, from downstairs to the parking lot, go approximately 821 miles, you would reach a huge open cavern.
I want to see
Does
it.
not literally have a sun in it, but apparently they are electrons, and as they go through the surface of the planet, they break down to their finest point, which is light.
Oh, okay.
And that, at the very center of the planet inside, is the strongest force of gravity, and that is why they collect, and that is what is literally the aurora borealis. It is these electrons...
He's just yelling shit out as fast as he can.
particles coming out of the top once they have totally broken down.
You
Which is
know.
why it's almost in a circle. Almost always in a circle. Next slide.
She combs the sniffer holes?
Okay, right here.
Oh, okay, I see
This
it.
is just north of Greenland. This is exactly where Admiral Byrd said he flew in. Right there. This was taken in 1979. Now, you mean to tell me the Gemini, the Mercury astronauts, the Apollo astronauts, when they came back, they missed this?
No
I don't
fucking
think so.
way.
I don't think so.
I can't see
If you
anything.
can get your hands on the book, there's a color photograph. This is a photograph from the book. It is, folks, it's there. Whoops, there it is. It's there. Next slide, please.
Did he just say, whoops, there it is? What a cheesy guy. Ah, yeah, I saw nothing.
Okay, our moon.
Oh, here we
Our
go.
moon is quite the enigma. Apparently, our moon was brought here 11,213 years ago.
You can't just say apparently. How do you know the Earth is that old?
To be exact, in the month
To
of
be
March.
exact.
That we know is the month of March. It came here as a base, okay?
What?
As a ship carrying ETs. They were coming here to colonize. They did, in fact, colonize. In fact, many of what's left of them are living underground in our planet from 100 miles to 200 miles beneath the surface.
Oh, okay. Well, that's convenient.
I've gotten a lot of crap for talking about this, but I'm just not going to shut up. The beings
Yeah, but you were also defecating in a urinal while you were talking about it.
that brought this satellite
could you
here
stop?
to our planet in the last 25 years are responsible for over 31,000 children disappearing from the surface.
They're on the moon?
And I don't know if you're paying attention, but over 100,000 children a year are vanishing from the face of the earth.
And they're going to the moon.
Folks, they're being taken out of here. And the governments know.
I'm sure some broad in the crowd's like, I wish the aliens would take my kid to the moon.
The world governments know. All right, and we're going to cover that. We're going to cover that. Next slide, please.
It's all aliens,
Okay, did our
kids.
astronauts really go there? I know that there's been a lot of talk that maybe they didn't go there because of anomalies and pictures. A lot of talk that maybe they didn't go there because of anomalies and pictures. Many of the pictures were faked because the pictures that the astronauts took, there was stuff all over the place. They couldn't hide it.
No,
Yes,
that underground passage cave was satanic panic. It wasn't real. But the moon bases, they're real.
they did go. But yes, there's been a manipulation of other things put in there that
Space.
supposedly looks like our astronauts. So, we have to use common sense when we look at these things. The
Yeah.
next slide, please. Did our astronauts see things? Absolutely.
Look at that! Hey, I don't remember NASA showing us that picture.
Mornay has told me that the United States government, just our government, has at least 53 of its own UFOs, flying saucers, that are stationed on the moon, on the far side. And I'm going to show you where he says
Damn, dude.
it's in one of the slides. They did, but they were told to shut up, not say anything. Many astronomers who have been taking a look at the moon, many of the lunar rovers and the cars that they drove have disappeared. They're no longer there. You know, they just
Where's my lunar rover?
didn't get up and float away. Okay,
I had
the
5 more payments on that thing.
moon has got gravity. Especially on the far side, it's got gravity. Mornay has told me that if you take Copernicus crater and you stood at the bottom, that the gravity is equal to that of Chicago. As if you were standing in Chicago.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because again, it is not the rotation. It is apparently the sunlight. The sun's radiation that creates gravity. At least this is what they say.
I knew it. That's why when it's dark out, I start floating and hitting the ceiling.
Now, our moon does not turn on its axis. It rotates around the Earth, but we primarily just see one side, or only 59% of it. By the way, our moon's the only one that does that. You know, it's the only one. Next slide, please. Okay, this was taken out of National Geographic. This was in the early 1950s. This was NASA's idea of what moon bases would look like. They, in fact, did do this and create this in February
I had to look through magazine after magazine of tribal titties to find this picture.
of 1958. So when Kennedy said, you know, we are going to send man to the moon, part of our government, primarily the NSA,
Man, that could be a bowl of chunky soup right now. I don't know what the hell we're looking at.
was already there. They were already there. Now, folks, you don't hear much about the Russian space program, but let me tell you something. They are a major player, and they are also here.
I knew it.
And they don't work for us. Neither does the NSA. They work for international bankers who are the new priesthoods for extraterrestrials. And we're going to cover that. Next slide, please.
They do look like storyboards.
Okay. According to the Andromedans, there were primarily 9 huge dome cities on the moon. The front and the back.
Man, I wish I lived in a dome city on the moon. Man, my life's so boring.
They housed up to 5 million extraterrestrials.
You know they got the PS6 on the moon. I'm just saying.
At one time. There was water, there was vegetation, there was everything they needed. Okay, and these covered hundreds of miles. You know, so when
I wanna
Richard
go.
shows you the pictures of the things, you know, the shards, so many miles tall, 9, 10, 15 miles, whatever it is, he's right. He's absolutely right. You know, but there's more. There's more. Okay, next slide. Okay.
That's
This
a
is along
city.
the equator on the far side of the moon. This is what's left of a pyramid. There are
I
4
see it.
pyramids on the moon. Excuse me. Okay, now I can assure you that the pharaohs, just to practice, did not take the Hebrew or the ivory up here, build one, then bring it back and do it right in Egypt. Didn't happen. According to the Andromedans, almost all the planets in our solar system have pyramids on it. Some have more. I've asked why. Some people say they're tombs. The Andromedan perspective is
That's a
that these
pyramid,
are
guys.
weights. And what they do is you put them in a strategic location, it
I don't want to hear anybody say that's not a pyramid.
balances the rotation of the planet. It doesn't keep it from wobbling, which means that if the ETs are there colonizing, there's no major fluctuations in weather and gravity. Gravity anomalies as well as the electromagnetic field, which is around every
Are you
single
saying moonkangs exist?
planet. It has to be balanced. That's what these are for. That's why Giza is directly dead center of the landmass on planet Earth.
We built them so-called pyramids on the moon, white boy.
Next slide, please.
I'm sold.
Okay, can we just focus this a little tiny bit?
You know he just makes the slides purposely blurry so he could say, could you please focus? Well, I guess this person doesn't know how to do their job.
Okay, folks, I want you to
The phone's
focus
front hole?
on this area right here. I want you to focus on this structure in here.
I see.
For those of you who are architects, please feel free to,
Yeah, because that room is so full of architects.
say something about this. This area right here, you can see the curves, the
I was gonna be an architect, but then I decided to cook at Waffle House.
angles. There's another bridge here. I want you to notice
I don't
these
see
lit
no bridge.
up objects inside the bottom of the crater.
I see a whole lot
We've
of
got a
nothing.
close-up of it. Next slide, please.
Oh, close up.
There we go. Okay, here's another bridge.
There's a
Apparently,
bridge.
this is inhabited by extraterrestrials from Orion.
How do you know they're from Orion? You can't even get to the moon, but you already know they're from Orion.
I'm told are domes. Does everybody see this? Okay. I'm also told that this is a road that goes into here. There's an elevator that goes up to this area here. And when they land, they take an elevator or something down, and then they can walk, because there's atmosphere on the far side of the moon. Which is why the astronauts took pictures of clouds. You know,
You mean just put a fat guy's anus in this dude's slides?
I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, the snow job that we've been given.
He would go
it's
nuts.
Nothing what we've been told it is. Nothing. Right.
There needs to be Waffle Houses on the moon. You're right.
Next slide, please.
You're right.
Okay, I want you to focus on this.
That's just the underside of one of his testicles. Here we go.
Let me just turn off one. I want you to focus on this area right here. Now, I realize this might be difficult, but I do have a close-up. This is a crater, and there is a structure that comes across it. You
What
can
is
see
that?
the sun coming through this way. You can see it shining right here underneath, and you can see this is still in the shade. This structure here. This is a 21-mile long bridge. Next slide, please. Here.
What the hell? The CIA's
I'm
calling
always
me.
updating. I'm always trying to get clearer pictures. This is 21 miles. Now, you may not see it. You may have to adjust your eyes. I know this isn't easy, but this is it right here.
I punched myself in the head 6 times, and I could see it now.
Okay? You can see the sun shining through here. Now, we didn't build this. And how is it that our astronauts missed this?
That's right. You could see the mailbox and everything.
21 miles.
This alien obviously has a pink flamingo thing in their front yard.
That's from here to almost to Boulder. Next slide. Okay. Look at this. Just sitting there parked. This was taken by the Lunar Orbiter in
It's a spaceship.
1966. Next slide.
He's like, yeah, let's get off that one real quick.
Now, isn't it interesting that we're told that the craters were created by meteorite impact, or incessant meteorite bombardment? I just love that. Okay? And yet, you have full-fledged mountains in the dead center of these craters. Many of them are even higher than the crater walls.
He's right.
Folks, that's just not possible. It is not possible.
Alien cities.
You have craters that are 30 to 40 miles in diameter. The deepest one is only 7,000 feet. That is also an absolute impossibility. Richard talks about his dome structures.
Yeah, but Richard fucking sucks.
Okay, that had some kind of a glass on it. Right here. I believe, and I'm told that this is what's left of one of Richard's domes, that he has a picture of him, with the long shards and the pieces hanging off. This is what's left of it. As you can see, there's a shiny spot of the glass tickered in, but that's what this is right here. This apparently
Dog, I feel
was
you.
a
Okay,
dome
I like
city, but it
boobs.
was destroyed by particle beam weapons between what we
How
now
do you know it was a particle beam weapon? You can't just say stuff like that.
know as the Orion group and a group from
You want to see
Pleiades.
some alien tits?
This happened approximately 9,600 years ago. Full-out war here. Next slide, please.
He knows everything.
Okay. I want you to just check out this area here. All these structures. Look at these. Apparently, these are hangars. This is
Apparently.
a complex that is inhabited by human beings.
I see the
from
hangers.
Earth. Also want you to look at this object.
I seen your mother's hangers.
I'm trying to get a better picture of what this large structure is. But what's really interesting about this area here and this is look at nice how sharp this crater is. The corners here. Very nice and sharp.
The corn domes are crazy.
Here.
Just struck
Very nice
away.
and sharp.
I believe it.
Next slide. This is, I just wanted to show you this structure here. This is absolutely not supposed to be there. And
That's a
apparently it is
spaceship.
the ruins of a ship that was destroyed 9,600 years ago.
It's the Millennium Falcon, guys.
Next slide. Piece of
It's
shard.
real.
It's 2 miles. 2 miles tall.
Piece of what?
Shard, piece of metal. Next slide, please. Okay. On this photograph,
Look at that tower.
I want you to just take in the landscape. Okay? I want you to take in the landscape of what you see here. Now, I want you to focus in on this area right here.
This guy's insane.
I want you to look at this area here, and I want you to compare it to the rest of the landscape. Just focus your eyes.
I see
for
a
minute.
building.
Okay? I want you to focus on this area, and then the rest of the landscape.
It's flat.
What's unusual about this area right here? Anything else? Maybe the way these things are all lined up together, nice and neat, and then these structures right back here. Next slide.
It's a moon sub. Wait. Yeah, you see that stuff over there? Next slide. You didn't even let me get absorbed.
Okay, here's another picture of it. Okay.
Oh, I see it now.
Is that a monument there, the dark shadow?
This here? No, that's an arrow. That's my arrow. Okay.
Nice one, jerk.
This area here, I have been told by the Sayus and Mornay both, is a base that was built by the United States, the Russians, and the British with the help of bankers, using technology that was given to this elite, this ruling
Can you show us some proof on that? You're just throwing it out there.
family by the grave.
This must be so much fun. No, you don't have to fucking like back anything up. Just say whatever you want.
In 1954.
Well, then after the CIA gave me a foot-long penis, then I won billions of dollars. And then I was zapped to Mars to kill all the robot aliens.
Been up here a long time, and this is actually considered a resort.
It must be a bunch of
This
drunks.
is not Club Med. Next slide. More ruins down here.
Exactly.
Here and in here.
I just see craters, dude.
These are not supposed to be here. These are pieces of spacecraft, apparently, that were destroyed 9,600 years ago in a war that took place in our solar system.
Oh, okay.
Next slide, please. Okay, this is the same structures I showed you earlier. Here's some more ruins.
I see a face.
Now, I want you to look at this area right here. This apparently is what's left of a dome, one of the dome structures. And these pieces that you have on the inside are pieces of the roof that just fell to the floor.
I bet this guy just found a bunch of moon pictures and said, like, okay, let's make a story for every single one.
Of
You know
the
he
dome.
fought in the Kumite.
You can look, you can see it, you can see there's a circumference. Here's part of the wall that's fallen down this way, okay, and here is part of the dome that is still intact. If we go to the next slide, I might see a little better. But we'll have to focus.
There you go, much better.
Right here. Well, maybe not. Okay, this was also destroyed in that war 9,600 years ago.
What war? What was it about?
Next slide, please. And if you can see this, this is very light. This is a piece of a bridge
I
that
see it.
crossed this crater where half of it's gone and half of it is just still standing there.
You can still see the decorative flower pots.
I don't know exactly how many miles across this is.
I don't know, like 6.
But again, how did our astronauts miss this? Next slide, please.
If they got all these fucking spaceships and shit, why do they need bridges? If you got spaceships, you don't need bridges. Thank you. I bet you they even have jetpacks.
Okay, these are more ruins. I myself have even had trouble seeing some of the things in this, but they've been very strong about this particular area, so I felt it was important to include it and just share it with you because maybe somebody in here will see something more than what I see. You know, people often do, so I'm just trying to share it. These structures here, it's a
Maybe the bridges were just for jogging. You know, a 6-mile long jogging bridge.
place. Again, this is along the equator on the far side of the moon.
A lot of the craters have a rising piece in the middle.
Yes, sir,
Oh,
they-
sure. See, he was depending on somebody seeing something. You know, you throw a bunch of dots on the screen, someone's going to see something.
do. Yes, they do. And, you know, some of them are full-fledged mountains, and they're just not supposed to be there. Next slide, please. Okay, now, look at this.
Focus, Biff. I don't see anything.
Okay. Honey, is that the best we can focus it? Okay, thanks. This area here apparently is a domed complex inside this crater, and I'm told that the world government picked this area because there's water underneath it.
Who told you that? You can't say I'm told. Who told you that?
These are domes. These are a series of domes that are lit up from the inside.
I believe it.
Which thing? This? This here? I don't know exactly what that is. It's not discernible in the picture.
Oh, but that is discernible?
You know, I think sometimes they purposely blur these just a little bit.
But they left the domes. They blur it purposely but leave the domes. Filled with cheese. Sign me up.
Next slide, please. Here's another area. in another
Cheese,
crater.
yes, please.
This is all lit up from the inside.
I see the lights.
Next slide. The structure here. This piece,
Yeah,
this
he talked like 10 minutes in the beginning about
thing
aliens.
here, this length of object, whatever it is 13 miles. And it's just sticking up outside, out of the crater. Next slide, please.
That's enough of that.
Okay. Now, I want you to look at this area right here.
I don't see anything. None of this makes sense.
Everybody see this area?
Yes, I
Steady up.
see it.
Okay. How many of you have been to the Sears Tower in Chicago? You ever been to the top?
Yes.
It's about a mile high, right? Yes, that's what they say. It's about a mile high. Next slide. Here it is again. Now, I
What?
want you to know these photographs were taken from... This particular photograph was taken by the Lunar orbiter at 86,000 feet. Okay? According to Morine, this is 7 miles high. And it's a monument to one of the old ETs. Next slide.
To one of the old ETs or something. Yeah, that's what it's. One of them is.
Here's a close-up of it.
It's huge.
Your suspicions are pretty accurate. Back up just one more time. Okay. Now let's look. Now just look at the rest of the terrain here. Okay. Look at the
It
rest
was
of the
the war.
terrain and just look at how this sticks out. 7 miles.
Why would you build a monument in the middle of a bunch of craters? That don't make no sense. You believe
How
it?
come our astronauts missed it?
Because they're fucking
I hate
idiots.
to be redundant, but I'm just hoping somebody will have the answer. Next slide. Oh, we did that. Okay. One more time. Okay. This particular area, I'm told, is now being reactivated. They say, Morine and Passaic have said that all of this...
Oh, reactivated, huh? Well, 1996 was a long time ago. You think we see some lights on the moon?
are ruins, and that there are underground facilities all through this area. And I just wanted to share it with you
That's right,
because
they're
they're very
domes.
strong about
I'm
this
sorry.
particular area. And this is a dome that was still left intact. Next slide. Square craters.
What the hell?
Now I've asked Mornay specifically, and he said there's no such thing as a square meteor.
Oh, you.
So, it's just one of them weird things. Next slide, please. Okay, craft sitting here, hanging
Macaroni
over a
and
crater.
cheese.
Next slide.
I didn't see no
These are all
craft.
taken by the lunar orbiter. Weird crossed objects sitting in the middle of craters, dead center.
It's
Next
a
slide.
space bug. What?
This was
He's
the
going
photographer.
fast.
Let's go one more slide. Okay, back up. Thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody else, I think George Leonard wrote this. Somebody else is on the moon.
George Leonard, yeah.
George Leonard. Somebody
TV's George Leonard.
else is absolutely living on the moon. I am told
Never trust somebody whose name can work forward and backwards.
that there are 35,000 full-time human beings from Earth living on the moon.
I
And
believe
they
it.
are Aryans by birth.
That's where the master race went, guys, to the moon.
Now let me just say that one more time. They are Aryans.
Space
Now, let me just say
Nazis?
that one more time.
Yes.
They are Aryans by
Yes.
birth. They are Aryans by birth.
Okay.
You're going to have to research them because if I come right out and say it, I'll get in deep trouble. Okay, Aryans by birth.
Space Nazis.
They're not.
They're also there with extraterrestrials. Between the moon and our Earth, there are 18,000 grays here. There are only apparently 2,000 real grays left. All the rest are clones. They're robots. They're organic robots.
I bet the space Nazis don't have to shovel shit off their sidewalks, though. I bet you they don't have that problem.
And microprocessors are grown in their
I bet you
head.
they have nice, like, outdoor restaurants where some piece of shit will come up with a protest sign and just start drinking your drink and yelling at you. Did you see that protest recently? These people in an outside restaurant, some Black Lives Matter thing came up and just started drinking all the white people's drinks.
And they were controlled by some kind of a radio frequency. Now, the Greys and the Orions also have this technology to absolutely replicate and duplicate a human being. And for those of you who are familiar with the old Dr. Beater stuff, before he was killed in a parking lot in Dallas, I would suggest you go back and re-research that information. Except he was told the Russians were doing it, and they're not
Fucking
doing
Russians.
it. It's extraterrestrials who are doing it, who are trying to undermine the free will of those of us on the surface of the planet.
Yeah, I bet you that doesn't happen on the moon.
Because this is our home. Okay, Mars. I'm still working on more information, but I'm going to show you a couple things and share things that I've been told about Mars. The first thing I want to share with you about Mars is that, again, everything we've been told about it is wrong. Mars' atmosphere is full of oxygen and ozone.
Oh,
In fact, the local San Diego paper on March 23rd of 1995 flat out said that in 1971 they had discovered it was full of ozone. Well, folks, you go to the library and you pull out any book that you can find on Mars written by any scientist on this planet, and they don't say virtually anything about ozone.
yeah, because it's full of it. Full of
But it's
rich,
there.
creamy ozone.
We're told that its actual gravity is about 1%. Well, if the atmosphere is so feeble, then how is it that it can have 300-mile-an-hour wind storms? If the atmosphere is so feeble, how is it that it can hold water at both poles? Next slide. Let's go next slide.
Think about that.
At both poles. And there's water at both poles.
There's Mars.
This is water, H2O.
The goose shit.
We're told that the Martian atmosphere never gets above 129 degrees below zero. And yet, this past February or March, you had a picture from the Hubble telescope of Mars and the North Polar Cap melting. Now,
Explain that.
I'm not a scientist, but tell me,
Obviously. You're obviously not a scientist.
how does water melt at 129 degrees below zero? I'm open. I'm open. Okay, apparently Mars has been inhabited off and on as a base, as
Makes
a small
sense.
colony, as a staging point
What about Phobos?
for extraterrestrials who are exploring and leaving our galaxy to go to another for 3.8 billion years. The ruins that Richard shows and other people, they're tombs. This is what I'm told, that they're tombs. And that there's far more there than is being shown. Most
Are you
of
saying he just read all the Shadowrun stuff?
it's been buried? Because during a war previous 69 million years ago, Mars was almost exactly like Earth.
Get your
In
ass to
fact,
Mars.
Mornay has said that many of the animal life that was on Mars is on Earth. That when we get there, when we as a race get there, publicly get there,
Probably in a couple years.
we will find that there were dinosaurs. Many of the exact same animals and mammals and reptiles were on both our worlds.
Are you saying there's a Martian Pickles?
And that Mars had a totally different orbit. It was literally pulled from its orbit, and as it was pulled from its orbit by 19 million miles, it rolled like a ball 3 times. And the water that was here just moved everything. And that it's been reactivated. It was reactivated in 1989. Now, I did a lecture in Dallas, and I've been talking
Yeah, Quaid started the reactor, dude. That's why the atmosphere's coming back.
about this information for several years now. And I was told that in 1989, Orion troops landed on Mars and took over colonies that were settled, created there
How do you have these contacts to the Orion troops?
by Terrans, us, by human beings from Earth. They came in and just took it over. Now, this gentleman...
Sorry, bros. The Orions are here, dude. Out! That's what they said to the humans. They went like this. Out! Go and get that!
approached me, and I'm just sharing this with you, said that his best friend's brother worked for Central Intelligence and was a
He
director
worked for Central Intelligence, and he also worked for Nintendo.
of NASA and resigned in 1991. He said that his brother told him that the meetings on Malta, on the ship, just off the coast of Malta between Gorbachev and Bush, were about what was going on
I don't know. His name is Alex Collier. Collier, I think.
Mars, and that they were scared to death. Now,
An old Vietnam
folks,
buddy.
I gotta share this with you. The beings that are here from Orion, they're into control.
I'm gonna see if he's still
Into
alive.
control. There is no such thing as self-rule in the Orion Empire. There is a hierarchy. Now, if you look at our planet, I mean, if you really look at what's going on our planet right now, there's only one nation that truly cherishes self-rule and actually has real experience in self-rule. That's the U.S. And we're armed to the hilt
I'm looking him up.
because our Constitution says we can be. This is why the focus is on destroying the United States of America. Okay, the UN, the World Order, all of that stuff, they're all taking orders from ETs, and they're scared to death. But they're willing to sacrifice this.
I think he's still alive, but he looks like shit. Yeah, he's still alive, and he's still selling his horse shit. But man, does he look rough.
Nation, they're willing to kill 3.5 to 4 billion people
So yes, Alex Collier's alive, kind of.
to maintain their place as the new priesthoods. This is Sumeria, this is Egypt all over again, but on a much grander scale, because now you've got 6 billion people living here.
He's right.
If the people of this nation surrender the Bill of Rights by 1998, folks, you will no longer have the United States of America.
And that's exactly what happened.
That's a guarantee.
What's
That's a
friends with Flash
guarantee.
Gordon?
This This is the reason the Andromedans are coming back. Because 317 years into our future, our galaxy is in tyranny. And they have traced, through time travel, all the events that lead to...
Time travel now? Come on, you can't just say time travel. Even that's lazy. Even for a guy who sells horse shit about aliens, time travel is lazy.
The single point that shifted the energy from free to tyranny. Now, we're not just talking about free, we're talking about also on a spiritual level. Suppression, oppression of soul.
I've been oppressed by the space
and they
aliens.
have traced it all back to our solar system, which is why many races are coming back and saying, hey, wait, this isn't going to work. Because 317 years in our future,
I just can't believe there's people still sitting there.
Here.
I would have heard enough. I heard enough.
And we somehow are dead square in the middle of this thing. Sorry for the news. But we are. This is the only reason they're bothering.
I knew it.
Next slide. Save your questions, please. Write them down, okay? You all know
I told that lady to go fuck herself.
about the face, or most of you
There it
sure
is.
do.
The face.
There's a lot more in this area that needs to be explored. Those of you who are researchers, please get pictures of not the face, but go north, where the mountains are.
Oh.
Okay?
I see
there
trees.
There are ruins everywhere. There are domes collapsed on top of themselves. In fact, there's one that's still there
Corn
that
domes.
looks like Texas Stadium in Dallas.
I see a space vag.
With the opening in the middle. It's there. It's there. Next slide. I just put this in because everybody's interested in the physics. I'm not a physics
Pyramids.
person. But it is important because it all matches up. You know, there are symbols.
I'm not a physics person. I'm more interested in alcohol.
In all of this. In fact, I want to share with you about crop circles. I've asked a lot of questions about crop circles, and I'm told that there are two groups leaving crop circles.
Rat turds?
There's the Andromedan Council, which is made up of 139 different races.
Yeah. It's easy to figure out. You idiots. You don't know that the Andromedan Council made those fucking crop circles? No, it wasn't bored college kids, you idiot. It was the Andromedan Council. I'm blaming all my problems now on the Andromedan Council.
Which is putting encoded information into the Earth to help stabilize it from Earth calamities.
Yes.
They're trying to buy us time. And many of the other crop circles that are being left by Orion. Now, where are they coming from? They're coming from Hale-Bopp.
Hale-Bopp. Oh man, you can tell this is 96.
Hale-Bopp. Hale-Bopp is not a comet.
Hale-Bopp was a comet, and you could see it with your own two eyes. That was cool. Anyone remember that shit? I had a friend who was into telescopes. That was awesome.
Which are chips are going to move out of the tail and move into an orbit around Mercury. And this is in February, March of 97, and they're going to tell us they're here for sure. That'll be the latest. The highest probabilities are
Hale-Bopp.
is that by the end of November of this year, after Spielberg's movie about Roswell is released, they're going to start telling you that they're coming.
Oh,
that they
shit.
picked up signals.
He's right. He's right.
The truth is they picked up signals back in 1960, you know, and in fact they were already on the moon in 1960 with extraterrestrial help. So, I mean, the whole thing is a conspiracy within a conspiracy within a conspiracy, and it is all to keep us fat, dumb, and stupid. Not to spook the herd, as a friend of mine said. Because they fear us.
How come Hale-Bopp? What? There was two around the same time. There was Hale-Bopp. Hale-Bopp. And what was it? It was like Shoemaker Levy 9, like almost like a couple months later. That was crazy.
They fear us. Because if we stand together and we ask for benevolent help, folks, it's going to be there.
He's right.
In fact, I've been told that the Andromeda Council has already decided to directly intervene, but I don't know what that is. I can tell you this, that the Pleiadians are at full-fledged war with the Greys outside our solar system. They're dying on both sides. This is going on, and the Hubble telescope sees it, and there are two Hubble telescopes, not one. The Russians sent one up, but you're not being told about that.
Well, you're telling us, so now
Next
we
slide,
are.
please. Olympus Mons.
Guys, I'm getting a message from the Andromedan Council.
Sit back and indulge. So,
Don't mind if I do Andromedan Council.
15 miles high. 1979, NASA admitted that they saw water vapor and ice clouds going over it. That's 90,000 feet.
That's a lot of feet.
Okay, that's higher than the clouds on our planet.
Yeah, that was cool shit.
Now we're told that the circumference of Mars is 4,200 feet. The Andromedans say, wrong. They say it's 11,230 miles. It's 3 times the size we're being told it is. The Andromedans also say that if you look at the planets in your solar system and you look at the brightness of those planets,
Here we go.
that is proof that we live in a binary star system. They say we have 2 suns. But because of the rotation and the position of our planet, we never see the sister. But if you're
I want to see the system. How do I see the system?
Venus, Mercury, or the others, you would see it.
That's Amber's
rotate
bra
around each
strap
other.
size? I actually got a new bra today.
I realize it flies in the face of everything. I'm just here sharing with you, and I'm just asking you to keep an open mind. Next slide, please.
Federation.
Okay.
All the lights go out and you're just here. Welcome, my brothers. No, get out of here.
Cydonia is in the northern hemisphere. Now, I'm told that at one time, most of that area was covered with water. And that along the equator of Mars is where most of the colonial cities were, colonies, outposts. They said much of the bigger cities on Mars, before it was destroyed, was in the southern hemisphere. Now, I want you to, honey, can we focus on just a shade?
I can just picture this guy putting his slides together and going, yeah, nailed it. They're going to love this.
I want you to focus on this area right in here. Now, this area is known as our Great Plantatia. This is in the southern hemisphere. Now, there's a little happy face. I thought that was pretty amazing. Okay, but if we go to the next slide. This apparently is another tomb that was in fact destroyed.
A tomb?
And these are 3 more pyramids that are lined up just like Giza. This area right here.
There's one.
And that these are also ruins. This is what they say.
I just like the arrows pointing to absolutely nothing.
And folks, they've never lied to me.
The Andromedan Council will never lie.
Right here. They want us desperately to wake up. Now, they have their own selfish reasons. Okay? Because of the fact of
They
the
want our loosh.
problems that apparently come up in the future. But there's also another reason. Many of the human races in our galaxy, because of so much interbreeding between the one race, the genetics apparently are starting to break down.
No!
There's only one race in our galaxy that can give these particular human races a genetic boost.
And that's me. Line up, alien bitches. We'll take care of this. Let's get to work.
Us. But they can't use our genetics. They can't even approach us because of the vibration we all move at, which is fear and anger.
I fucked several alien women, and their kids still came out retarded.
They say when we're not taking advantage of others, we're taking advantage of ourselves.
You gotta have Funyuns when you're hearing about aliens. With 3 titties?
Well, it hasn't stopped the regressives because they vibrate at this frequency, and they've also helped to propagate many of the belief systems that we have right now. We have real problems because this is all coming to a head by the year 2000.
Hey, absolutely nothing happened in 2000.
Be here in 97, and official protocol ships from Orion are going to be here.
Okay, guys, the Andromedan Council showed up in 2020 or 2000. I remember that, don't you?
Now, I want to share with you some of
Richie
the
Bell
things
came
that the
from?
Greys are up to. Many people say they've left. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but apparently they're still here.
Oh,
and they
no!
have no intentions of leaving because they need us. They are desperately trying to save their race by using our genetics, but it isn't working. They can create the form, but they can't put soul in the body.
Oh,
That's a
shit.
gift. Now, here's what they're doing. This is what I'm told they're doing. I'm told that many of the abductions that are occurring now, that the vital body, the aura of the people being abducted, which is primarily the females in
They're trying to steal our souls. And our women folk.
the family. And it's usually the first and second daughter and the mother. What they're doing is they're peeling off the vital body, the closest part to the energy field, and they are storing it and they are feeding it to the hybrids that have that mother's genetics in it.
What?
And apparently they're doing this to keep them alive. And they're also apparently trying to create soul. They think by stealing your aura, the vital body, in your energy field, and giving it to another, that it will create soul.
They're stealing our auras.
You need to be aware of this.
Shut up, dude. I don't need to be aware of any of this crap.
Okay, this is why a lot of folks who are weird things are happening, they're getting real sick and run down. It's because your vital life force is being
He was
stripped
just hoping for a Netflix series.
from you. And folks, there is a violation of free will, big time going on here. You know, there are a lot of blinds in metaphysics. And one of them says that you create your own reality. Well, that's true. But there is a violation of free will. And we are being violated big time.
I feel
And
violated.
Our race has been for the last 5,400 years. Big time. I'm dealing with the race we know ourselves now as Homo sapiens sapien. I don't know, is there another slide?
I think what these guys do is they all just rip each other off. You know, like how YouTube people just rip each other off. You know what I mean? Like that's what these assholes. This was before YouTube. This is the traveling con man. They just rip off everybody and then mash it all together.
Phobos. Phobos is an artificial moon. This is
Like,
where
you would think like Richard Hoagland was a respectable guy after listening to this idiot.
majority of the 2,000 real graves that are left are hiding out. Is on Phobos.
That's where they are.
And when
Finally, guys, we got to Phobos. I knew he'd bring up Phobos. They all bring up Phobos.
you look at pictures of Phobos, when you go through your magazines or you go through, the astronomy magazines, I'm told that
Yeah,
you
they
should,
just rip each other off.
I've been asked to share with you the idea that you should look very carefully about the inside of craters. That many of the openings
right in the
that
ball.
lead into this are inside the craters. That the bottoms open up and the ships come in and the ships come out.
Yeah, your bottom opens up for anybody, dude.
Okay? Now, Phobos is a major anomaly because it goes counterclockwise to everything else in our solar system. It rotates counterclockwise to everything else. Let's see, there's one more.
They love Phobos for some reason.
Okay, this is the North Pole of Jupiter.
Look at
This is
that.
a photograph taken by the Voyager. I'm sorry, the Galileo. Anybody care to tell me what that might be?
A space roach. A Pac-Man ghost.
Yes, that's the North Pole. When it went over, it photographed this sitting there.
You're right, Hellmama, you're right.
It could be. It could be. I'm
Maybe that's where our missing socks go. They go right to Phobos.
sharing it with you because I want you to think about it.
It's a minion? It does look like a minion.
I think it's a satellite. Alien satellite that they caught on top. That satellite's analyzing the surface.
A Swiss Army
That's a
knife?
very good answer.
I know it is.
I think it might be a Swiss Army knife. What did he say? Hold on.
Okay, this is the North Pole of Jupiter.
What did he say?
Anybody care to tell me what that might be?
A pecker.
either. Yes, that's the North Pole. When it went over, it photographed this sitting there. It could be. It could be. I'm just sharing it with you because I want you to think about it.
I have an idea. I think it's a satellite. A satellite that they caught on top. That satellite analyzing the surface.
That's a very good answer.
I know it is.
The douchebag said, he said, that's a good answer. He says, I know what it is. That very well could be rainforests. It takes up half the North Pole of Jupiter.
Next slide, please. This is Ganymede. Ganymede's another artificial satellite. Ganymede has life on it, has water, has an atmosphere, has oxygen. Many of the benevolent races use this as a base. This is Ganymede.
Oh, you've never
has
been?
Has an atmosphere, has oxygen. Many of the benevolent races use this as a base. This is Ganymede.
Does the Andromedan Council go there?
I'm sorry? That's Jupiter. It's one of the moons of Jupiter. Now, if you look carefully at the satellite we just sent up there, and you look at the rotation of what it's focusing on, the moons that it's focusing on will tell you an awful lot about what it is
We don't. We have no natural
they're
satellites.
looking for. They do nothing without a reason.
It's just alien spaceships that's been there before recorded history.
Let's see, is this it? Okay.
Yeah, the Greys. The Greys are jerks.
Okay, next slide, please.
Here we go. This is where it gets good, guys.
I think that's the last one. That's the last one.
Oh.
If we can have the lights be great. Thank you, Dean.
No, more pictures. More blurry shit pictures.
I can come out from behind here. Okay, I want to
easy,
share this
Mickey.
with you. This last thing. I was told that March 23rd, 1994,
Oh, shit, guys.
that 19 suns pole shifted in our galaxy.
19?
And that many are pole shifting all the time. At exactly the same moment that the suns in our galaxy pole shifted, a color and sound frequency started emanating from all the black holes in the known universe. Now, apparently what this sound and color frequency is doing, it is literally creating a holographic density above all others. And on a numerical level, it would be, on our level, it would be considered the 12th.
What are you talking about?
There are 11 creational densities in our universe. This is now adding a 12th. And that what it's doing is that it is literally lifting all the dimensions up. 11 is going to 12, 10 to 11, etc. Now they say that all indications are that by December 3rd, in our linear time of the year 2013...
Oh, shit, guys. It's in the future. 2013. What's going to happen?
Third density, as we know it, will cease.
Third density. That's what that other scumbag was talking about. Yo, you've never seen the third density.
To exist. It is now presently imploding on itself as it is being raised to a higher vibration.
Well, it's way past 2013, and I haven't seen any third density.
And that those of us who stick around and go for the ride will be moving through fourth into fifth density. Just like that. And that we will start to see very clear indications of this around the year 2007.
Yeah, where's the third density,
Now,
silly catfish?
apparently the Andromedan Council, which is a group of 139 planetary systems, and I can't tell you exactly how many races because I don't know, has
A whole bunch.
made a decision and has told all of the extraterrestrial influences in our solar system, both benevolent and non-benevolent, and those who are in the middle, to be out of this solar system no later than August 12th, 2003.
Oh shit, guys, we don't have much time. we're late enough as it is. We got to get out of here.
I don't know how they're going to back it up, but apparently they've decided they're going to. So they want them all out of here. Now, if this happens and they do leave, you're going to see incredible things. If they do not, I have been told to tell you this, that there's a very high probability that we will wake up one morning or go outside one night and the moon will not be there.
What?
It will be towed towards Jupiter.
No, you bring the moon back, you assholes. Fucking Andromeda Council stealing our moon.
And they will deal with the energies that are there out there. Because if they have to go to battle and the moon gets destroyed, it will destroy most of the Earth because, pieces of it will come here. Plus, it has an energy source inside of itself. Okay, it's a spacecraft.
I knew it.
So this is another possibility, and, I talked about the tides. I mentioned the tides, and more, and they said, hey, that's no big deal.
That is, in fact, a skullet.
Just get you another one. Apparently, it's no big deal. Planetary science is no big deal when you're at that level of technology.
He's right.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that the moon had moved closer to Earth. What did they say about that? About 2 years ago?
Apparently, it's moving closer all the time.
That is true. They're going to steal our missing kids.
The Andromedans say that it's moving 9 inches closer to us, and we're not being told about anything about it. They also have said that Mars is also moving closer to us.
Hey, back off,
as well.
Mars. I need my space.
That it's moving closer? I don't know what it is. Unless it's to disrupt the gravity pull will create earthquakes.
What's 9 inches?
Fucking Mars.
Do with 240,000 miles.
I don't know, sir. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
I just make up stuff, dude. Don't take me seriously.
You get to where people in the back cannot hear these questions.
I'm sorry. I'll repeat the questions when they're said. Thank you, Dean. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
If most of those satellites are artificially made, why do they make the surface so rough?
The question is if the satellites or the moons are artificially created, why do they make the surfaces so rough? Obviously,
To blend in, you stupid idiot!
to hide what they are.
Yeah. See?
Other than that, I don't know.
What? Should they just write spaceship on the side? Moron.
Man in the back.
Yes, we really have a struggle going on between basically good and evil. Are the benevolent people more,
Come again?
More powerful, or is there more of them? I mean, do we really
You know their hearts were broken in 2013 when the moon didn't go away.
have a chance?
Okay. The question is if there's really a battle between good and evil, are the benevolents more powerful? Do they have more? And do we really have a chance?
Stupid
Oh,
question.
gosh. I've been told that if they stuck together, yes, they could resolve the situation here. But there are some significant problems
Fucking politics. Always politics.
they have. Now, back in 1985, when I was being told all of this, there were a lot of discussions going on back in Andromeda about what to do with us. Now, half of the Andromeda Council didn't want anything to do with us. And their reasons were this. These were their sole reasons for...
I just like every time it says Andromeda Council. I can picture a bunch of aliens like talking and shit, and just his dumb skeleted head sitting in the corner writing everything down. Oh, this will be great when I go when I go to Scranton, Pennsylvania to talk about this.
for not wanting to help us. They don't respect their home. They don't respect each other, and they don't respect themselves.
Yeah.
What is their value? Now,
Wait till I tell this to the people of Poughkeepsie.
those that wanted to help, because they have seen us as totally being violated with our free will, somehow convinced them that this was a worthwhile project.
We're all aliens.
Now, intervention not only changes our reality, it changes their reality. And one of the things that the Andromedans and Morine has said specifically is they don't want to come down here and help us when we don't want to help ourselves.
Yeah.
Because then they end up babysitting. And if
So go out there and bake your neighbor cookies or some shit.
happens, then we could always blame them. And the cycle starts all over again. This is about
That's basically what he said, Cave.
responsibility. That's what this whole thing is about.
They do
There
sound
are
like
one group
queers.
of ETs who say, well, there's no way. You cannot be self-responsible. You cannot rule yourselves.
Yeah.
And then we were given this opportunity 200 and some odd years ago to try this experiment. And we succeeded in doing it. But now we're being lulled back into a place where we want somebody to take care of us.
Yeah.
And you know that you're going to sacrifice your freedom.
Hey, a little help, Andromeda. Come on. You don't have to stick around for a couple thousand years, but hey, a little help.
I'm not about to do that.
Neither.
So, who's going to win? I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I had a place to hide till it was over, but I don't.
Their interference has caused a lot of this to surface. I mean, they've kind of, changed our direction as to what we might have been able to accomplish.
I just like to think this guy has a collection of women he takes with him to every place, and he only picks on them for the questions. You know what I mean? Like it's all rehearsed horse shit.
You're right. The question
Come
was,
on, ladies, we're going to Scranton. We're going to talk about aliens again. Practice your lines.
She added that we've been manipulated and they've helped to change us into a different direction. You're absolutely right. However, when I brought that question up to Mornay, he looked at me and he said, are you aware that your government is drugging its young people? And I said, well, yes. He says, are you aware of a couple other things that he mentioned which are really sensitive? And I said, well, yes. He says, well, what has your race done about it?
Good question.
I mean, 1986, 1987, West 57th Street, twice in 6 months, showed Air Force personnel unloading bales of marijuana and cocaine off of planes at Hempstead Air Force Base and loading it up with weapons.
Taking it right to my house, where we had a most totally awesome party.
And it taking off for Costa Rica. Twice they showed this on national TV.
Hey, can I get some fucking heroin on Phobos? Maybe a little?
West 57th Street was taken off the air, and nobody did anything. Again, it comes back to self-responsibility. They are watching us. They are watching us and saying, should we come in and help this race when they don't want to clean up their own act, when they don't want to take care of their own?
Hey, if I could take care of myself, Andromedan Council, why the hell would I need you in the first place? Jerks. Who needs you guys? Go smell a space butt.
Do you realize, and big time,
What about white privilege?
and those who don't want to make a shift are going to be checking out. Because the frequency, everything is changing, folks. And I'm not trying to instill fear in you. I'm trying to share with you what they've told me. And they have not been wrong. Things are going to radically change. And it's going to start just like this.
Loverboy's classic.
It has. You watch November of this year, it's going to get really weird in this country.
But
really weird.
nothing got weird,
They're going to try
guys.
to divide us. And because if you divide, you can conquer. And whatever you do, please don't turn on each other. The enemy is underground. They're on
Hanford.
the moon. It is not your neighbor. It is not your policeman.
Yeah,
He's not the enemy.
it's Andromedan Council.
You know, if you want to do something really constructive and you don't know what to do, just do this one thing.
Give me money.
Come November, if there's an election, vote. Whoever's been in office, vote him out.
Oh!
Start over. That will buy us more
You hear that, Drumpf?
time.
What happened in 1994 that stopped the integrating of the
Nothing. Apparently there's been this divine intervention and third density is moving into fifth. Therefore,
The fifth density? I think you're just making this up as you go along, Alex Collier. If That's your real name?
They say this is going to happen by December of 2013, so the 41 years won't go by. So we've been rescued on some level already. But I don't know how many of us are going to make it. You know, now, the world government has been told that we're overpopulated, okay, by the aliens. The truth is, they can't control all of us. They can't control us here. So they decide they want to just eliminate half the world's population.
That's all right. That's probably not a bad idea.
Now, folks, I want to share this with you. According to the Andromedans, our planet could comfortably handle a population of 11 billion if we didn't squander our natural resources and we went to free energy.
Right.
Now,
Hey, guys, let's just switch to free energy, huh? It's that simple. Let's just do the old switcheroo. Free energy time.
free energy has been suppressed forever.
Oh, shut
If we
up.
went to that, we could...
If there was a real thing as free energy, some asshole would have invented it in his garage 10 years ago. 10 years ago? Shit, 100 years ago.
turn this whole thing around. All right? What's happened is the political systems have broken down, but they don't want to take responsibility for it because in order to fix it, they have to make us more free. And they're not about to do that. They are not about to relinquish control of you, your money, your assets, because you're a natural resource. So it's easier to create a catastrophe like a pole shift or something else, biological weapons, and just wipe out half the population. And they're still in charge. And I can assure you that those people that you call your world leaders, those who are part of this game, will be sitting on the moon watching all this happen. And when
Space Drumpf? Hey, Drumpf, get back down here. You can't sit up on the moon and watch the planet go to hell. Fucking Drumpf. Drumpf and Putin up there, guys. Fucking the glass clinking while we're burning a fiery death. On Phobos, no less.
Back with answers, just like a politician, you know. Yes, sir, in the back with the striped shirt.
You mentioned something about economics, materialism, what have you. How does any of that correlate with your comments about getting our souls in a place that we think of in terms of metaphysics or religion?
Don't worry, dude. No one wants your soul, man.
Where does that fit in? Where's
It smells like stale beer.
come from?
Who could not have a soul? The Greys? The clones that... No, I'm talking about... I'm referring to the clones, the hybrids that they're creating. They do not have soul. That's what I'm told. That's right. They're not actual beings. Microprocessors, organic microprocessors are grown inside their brains.
Yeah, they're meat robots, idiot. Nice try, jerk. Any other questions?
These blues and their grays are not living beings.
Some of them are not, no. The ones who are not clones? Yes, they do.
What was that question back there? I still didn't get it.
We got off.
Yeah, where does soul and spirit get into this?
Okay.
It's a possible solution.
Oh, this guy's got a solution.
Why are they so interested in us? Now, this is really going to stretch your belief systems.
Because they love Loverboy. They want all the Loverboy albums.
I am told that a majority of the physical beings, human beings, that are in third density, not only on our planet, but in 21 other systems, who are experiencing the same problem we are having, are beings that apparently at some time in our past...
Guys, hold on. Before this guy starts yapping, I just got a text. Katie Kate is part of the Andromedan Council. I just want everyone to know.
We're at 11th density. Now, the Andromedans have said that our universe, what we know as our universe, is in linear time, and this is the only way that I can explain it, is as we count time, is that our universe is a 21 trillion year holograph.
That's right.
It's a holograph. It's a picture within a picture within a picture, or a dream within a dream within a dream, however you want to look at it. And that apparently many of the souls on third density were at 11th density. And for some reason, this collective group consciousness decided...
And guess who's doing food reviews on Phobos? The Micro Bear Gourmet. That's where they went. They're up in Phobos. Reviewing delicious microwave videos.
They wanted a different perspective.
Vittles.
And they literally fell into the concept
Videos
of time, into physicality, and literally carved out of nothing what we know as third density. Now,
you don't even explain what third density is. Shut up. If you're not going to explain what it is, stop saying it.
Third density to many of these other races is like putting your hand in jello and trying to move it back and forth. There's so much resistance, it's so dense. And yet here we are literally creating all this. That's how powerful we are. That's how powerful our minds are. Which is why there's been so much focus on brainwashing, on trying to make us victims, or believe that we're victims.
Yeah.
Because the minute we wake up and we take a step back,
let my brain be nice and dirty,
and see our situation for what it really is, they've lost control. It ends there the minute we awake. And this is why channeled information, so many different races and beings are trying to light the fire underneath us. Because they can't directly come in and interfere unless a percentage of us ask for permission. Because then it's a violation of free will. And they've done exactly what the regressives have done. Even though it was for our own good.
Man.
You
Space politics is complicated stuff.
Cannot violate free will. That's the law. So they are trying to help us.
Can you cite the law?
Awaken, and at the same time try to make us think it's our idea.
Do you have any studies on that?
That's the trick. And it's working, I think, to a degree. But, how quickly it's working, I just don't know. I'm scared. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I am scared about what the next 4 years are going to bring.
I'm scared. Don't worry, dude. Everything turned out fine. You knew it would.
What about the earthquakes?
A lot of it is. I'm sorry. The question is, what about the earthquakes? Some of them are natural, and some of them are being caused. I wish I had a board. But what's basically happening is you've got a planet that is vibrating at a frequency of fear and anger.
It's trembling. It's literally shaking.
You've got this new frequency called the 12th density, which is lifting everything up. Well, these really dense energies cannot move up. So the planet herself, in order for her to move up into 5th density, has got to cut loose with this energy. And what's happening is that she's cutting loose with this negativity, which she's been holding on to. It's hitting the surface, and it's feeding us as a population, because we're already in that space.
What? Huh?
And there are predictions of wars. Oh, God, we're all primed. We're all ready for it. The whole world's broke. Everybody's looking for food. The world has got a food supply of 53 days.
Yeah, I went outside scrounging for vittles, guys.
The entire world. The United States of America, should there be a catastrophe, has only a 7 days food supply.
I was out foraging.
What happens after those 7 days? Are we going to start
I found a sunburnt can of beefaroni.
Off each other? That's our MO. Yes, sir.
Before you go any further, can you define what you mean by density, third density?
Yes. Okay, can you
Ah,
define
shit. Here he goes. Now he has to explain himself. He asked, what the fuck is third density, you douche? Here we go.
Densities, frequencies. Density and dimension, they're really one and the same thing. They are a frequency in which light and sound oscillate at. We oscillate at a specific range. Other things oscillate at other ranges, higher ranges. There really isn't anything lower than us at this present
Isn't
time.
it oscillate? It's not osculate, is it?
We've hit bottom. There's only one place to go, and that's up, as the old saying is. So it's a frequency.
That answered nothing. Yeah, you said it's a frequency, but everything's a frequency. What does it mean?
It's sound. If this is a holograph, if what they're saying is right, if this is a 21 trillion-year-old holograph, then all of this is just light and sound.
So who cares?
Now, there are places in space where there is nothing, no matter. According to the Andromedans, those are areas that have not been magnetized by thought. Now, with the first aspect of physicality, the first sign of creation, they say, is the electron. The moment that particle is magnetized...
This guy says... He says a lot of shit wrong. Like I don't know.
I thought
He's Archie bunkering all over the place.
alive, and it starts to create and manifest whatever is energizing it or magnetizing it. I know it's out there. I still have trouble with understanding a lot of it. Yes, ma'am.
Does this time frequency that you see them for the 2013, does that have anything to do with what?
I still have trouble with understanding a lot of it. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, they cut her question totally out of the thing.
Time frequency that you see them for the 2013, does that have anything to do with what some people are talking about, some of the astrologers and others about the entryway to the photon band or photon belt?
The question was, does the time of 2013 have anything to do with what astrologers or astronomers are saying about the photon belt? Ma'am, they have never mentioned anything about the photon belt. In fact, the Andromedans have absolutely no belief system whatsoever in astrology. And I don't mean to offend anybody. This is their perspective. They say it's all a belief system.
Oh, shit.
How does it all agree with King James Version?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you. The gentleman said, why does this all agree? He said, why does this all agree with the King James Version?
Oh, shit.
How does this all agree with the King James Version? Well, I
What
will
now,
just
dude?
tell you, this is a very touchy subject.
Oh, shit. They're all New Age weirdos. Watch.
I will just tell you this, that Mornay has told me that it is more important to know why you believe something than the fact that you believe it. And in their opinion, the fact that we all believe, or a majority of the people believe in the book of Revelations, that we are literally going to self-fulfill it.
Oh, shit.
What we think we create.
So start believing in pineal glands and chakras and all that carny horse shit.
See who else? I see somebody pointing at somebody else.
Alien
Who
course?
doesn't want to raise his hand, probably. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
Richard Hoagland talks about.
Could you stand up? I can't hear you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Richard Hoagland talks about hyperdimensional physics,
Mhm.
and through that we can change our reality. So this is really what you're saying, is that if we believe in the book of Revelation, we'll create it. So wouldn't it be an idea that if we change our thought about the year 2013 as something other than a outlined there, and that's sort of what he is saying, is hyperdimensional physics can allow that person to change their reality through their thoughts, and it's basic metaphysics, and that would be eliminating
Lady,
fear.
you're long-winded.
If we go into anything with fear, we cannot change our thoughts. I don't know, when you said you were afraid, it made me concerned about...
Lady, this guy's full of shit. Calm down. Don't be afraid. It's all nonsense.
your information, although I really think your information, it sounds to me very valid, but when fear can change that reality, does that make any sense?
Yes, it does. The fears that I have are my own.
There needs to be somebody outside. Like, don't be afraid. He's full of shit. He's totally full of shit.
How do I put this? I have a lot of years invested as a child and as a young adult in Christianity. I have been made aware of the fact that there's no net underneath me.
Uh-oh.
No net at all. And the fear that I have is my own belief in myself to be totally self-responsible.
Oh, shit.
I can admit that.
He's saying he only believes in himself, so it's okay to go to these places and light a bunch of rubes. Hey, I only believe in myself, so nothing matters.
So that's the fear. Because if there's no net underneath me, it lies squarely on my shoulders to figure out my reality. And when I see all this stuff going on, what is it that I want to create? What do I want to create? you know, my wife and I want to have a baby.
Oh, poor kid.
I'm 39 years old.
Oh, man, you look rough, dude. That's a rough 39.
I've been in many other relationships, and I've raised other children that weren't my own. Now I want to raise my own. And, you know, there's a lot of things going on that influence that decision. So, you know, I share the information, but I'm also sharing myself. So,
Yeah,
you know, you have to take that whatever way you want. Yes, ma'am.
Question about reincarnation. If, say, the Earth is destroyed, where are the souls going to reincarnate? Are we going to other planets where they have similar life forms? Or we're supposed to go into, or what? What's the theory on it?
Okay. The question was about reincarnation. If the Earth is destroyed in the future, where will all these souls go to continue to reincarnate? That's a great question. I will share with you a couple things about that. Their theory, the Andromedan theory on that is this. They say
no one's asking them. How do you know the Andromedan Council? That'd be the first thing I'd ask. How do you know this? How do you know this shit?
Physical matter that came is in this 21
and also, could I have my money back?
trillion-year-old holograph came out of what we know as black holes. So the Big Bang Theory is correct in its simplicity.
Oh, I love that show.
But apparently what happened was some other universes somewhere also went through the process of evolving, and those things that chose not to evolve, to raise their frequency for whatever reason, were taken into black holes, and because spirit cannot be destroyed, it has to create another space to continue to evolve. Now the Andromedans call that space consciousness. They call our universe consciousness, because that's what created it.
This guy's got an answer for everything.
They say that
the ball, you got to raise your frequency, dude. You have to.
This is happening all over again.
Every time I'd hear like frequency or vibration, you know it's horseshit.
And the London Sunday Times.
I used to really love conspiracy videos, and like I said, it was back when Google Video was out, because there was a ton of them. And I'd start one up, and the guy would say like vibrations, and I'd be like, I'll find another one. I knew they were horseshit. They were just fun to watch.
This past Sunday, for those of you on January 1st, the London Sunday Times on the back, apparently the Hubble telescope has found a floating black hole that is moving through. It's right now.
That's your mammoth snatch, you cheesy asshole.
Virgo. It is floating, and it is pulling some suns, some stars into it, but not others. And they're gone. And they're actually watching this thing now. And that's the London Sunday Times, January 1st. For those of you who want to go to your newsstands and try to get it. It's on the back page of the front section. Big article. Okay? So, you know, there's a God. And whatever she has decided to do...
Oh, shit. New age as fuck. See, this guy knows how to sell to, like, old lonely broads. God's a female, everybody. Look at him smiling. He's like, yep, easy money. I'm selling some books.
Actually, I asked about that, and they said that, you know, that they call it the isness. They themselves don't know exactly
what is Niels. Mind your own ears, Niels.
But just that it holds everything together. But that if they had to give it a gender, it would be female.
Yeah, take that, guys.
It creates life. Yes, ma'am.
One of the crop circles, or a couple of them actually, this last summer, showed the planets around the sun, almost like your one picture was there with the asteroid belt. But it was interesting that where the Earth is supposed to be, there was no planet. There was the ring there that showed the orbit, but there's no planet. Did you see that in crop circles?
I did not, but somebody told me about it in Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
There
was a big thing in the 90s where bitches were really into aliens for some reason, like huge.
I've not had an opportunity to ask about that. But
would you? I'd like to know the answer.
I promise. Believe me, I have a list of questions. I'll get to you in 1 second. They say that the crop circles are fifth-dimensional geometry.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's what it is. And in case you don't know that, crop circles have been showing up in the United States, but it's being suppressed. And they're primarily showing up along fault lines on the West Coast. So stay tuned for that. They're actually happening, but the feds are doing an excellent job because of the satellites, making sure that the minute they're created, that
it was before. It was before the X-Files. I think X-Files was because of that, of the bitches and because of guys like these con men going around the country.
They're out there as soon as possible to make sure it's bulldozed.
Yeah, it was back in the 80s. You had assholes like Jordan Maxwell running around,
plowed over, etc.
One guy said, "Hey, these bitches, they love aliens. Let's make this stupid TV show."
Yes, sir, in the back.
Yeah, I was just curious, how did your communication process with the Andromedans, and is it at your request or their request, and how often does it occur, and all that kind of stuff?
Well, there's absolutely no pattern to it. And question here.
That's a good question.
You wanted to know how the communication with the Andromedans goes. Is it at my request or their request? Sir, there is no pattern to it. They let me know. I will go outside at night, which I do every night.
At the Andromedan Council, the main guy goes, Hey, how do we talk to that fucking guy with the skullet? That lion guy with the skullet. I need to send him some messages. Bring him up on the horn."
And I will look up at the sky and I will project a symbol, which is a communication that I have with them.
Hey, you stole my kid's Batman flashlight. Give that back, Alex.
And I don't always get a response. Sometimes I have to wait months to get a response. But it's they're almost always at night. They're both telepathic as well as verbal. Now, Mornay is the only one that has actually gone to the effort to learn to speak. Visayas doesn't. It's all telepathic, and they talk in symbols. Now,
symbols?
When you start, for those of you who channel, you may already be aware of this, or mediums. I don't really like the word channel.
That's right. They have one of these. Why fix it if it's not broken?
You get impressions. Telepathy is speaking in holograms. That whole stack of papers.
Actually, instead of the bell, they just have a fat woman that they hit upside the head. Ow! Hey! Ow! Everyone, listen up! Ow! Hey, listen up, everybody! Ow! Hey, get that balding retard on the horn. Ow! Ow! Listen up! Ow! Just hit some fat woman on the head.
And you put it all together. Okay? When somebody's talking to you telepathically, they're giving you that entire concept of everything like this. The whole thing is right there. It is not where I am describing, well, sir, we take this, we move it to the front of the house, then we take this beam and move it there. It's not like that. You get the whole thing instantly. And then you have to learn how to unravel it.
Oh,
it's taken me years to do
decipher.
This. And they've been really patient. And I'm not the only one. They're talking to 3 other people.
It's made the Engage?
There's one in Argentina, who I don't know yet, but I've met somebody who does know him. There's one in Asia and one in Europe. And there are other groups that are also contacting a lot of people here. Because we're different. We are really
we're
different.
special.
I'm not saying we're better, but we're different. And they apparently see some value in us, those that really want to help.
Yeah, Alien Nation was way before X-Files. That was another one.
The regressive see value in us, which is why they're...
Maybe that Close Encounters movie sent bitches crazy on aliens.
They're so hell-bent on trying to control us and to suppress us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of energies coming. There are a lot of earth changes that are coming. I can tell you this beyond a shadow of a doubt, absolute proof, positive, inside of myself, because I've been shown it.
Imagine if he said, like, after 2013, everything sucks. He would have nailed it. That's all he had to say. We don't die. No volcanoes, no explosions, no earthquakes. Just everything sucks forever. He would have nailed it. That's all he had to say.
8 years, Southern California will be 8 islands. That's it. It's all going to be water.
Wait, what?
For those mountaintops.
Shit. I wanted to hear what he said.
Have family there. It's all years, absolute proof positive inside of myself because I've been shown it. In 8 years, Southern California will be 8 islands.
Well, he was way off on that. He was way off.
That's it. It's all
V.
Except for those mountaintops. So if you have family there, you gotta let them know.
Well, California's still here, fuckhead. I guess the Draconian Council is telling lies. Hey, everyone, listen up. Ow! We're going to lie to that balding idiot. Hey, pay attention, you over there. Ow! Ow! We're going to lie to that guy and make him look stupid. One more time. Ow!
New York City by the year 2000 will not be there. It will be ash. It will be sacrificed.
No.
It's going to be sacrificed. The powers that be have already made that decision. Sacrificed. It'll be a sacrifice.
Lies.
An offering. An offering. Those souls that live there, their energy is going to be an offering.
Say it again.
Whoever it is, going to try and capture those souls?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, they can.
Because what's underneath.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you're going to Mars, take a detour and check out Phobos. The food is to die for.
Natural phenomenon. That's correct. He asked the question, basically he made a statement, the East Coast is going to be a man-made phenomena and the West Coast is going to be a natural phenomena, and I agreed with him.
How does that agree with Casey's revelation?
I don't know, sir. I don't know.
He said it would be destroyed. I don't know that he said it was going to be bombed.
It was going to, an act of terrorism would turn it to ash.
Oh, he was almost right. An act of terrorism.
By the year 2000.
Oh, an act of terrorism by the year 2000.
Sir, I don't know. I could start any time. Truly, it could start any time. I'm amazed more hasn't happened. There are some really, really evil thinking souls here on this planet.
Hanford.
I mean, it's unconscionable. It's unconscionable. If those of you know anything about the UN Biodiversity Treaty, if you look at some of the wording that's in it, it doesn't sound like a human being wrote that at all. No. You know.
Well, why don't you talk about that shit then? Something you could show.
It's just too weird. There's just so much weird stuff. You know, and that's
yeah, don't talk about that shit. Just show a bunch of blurry pictures of the moon.
They were influenced.
You think the UN was set up by Extraterrestrial?
That I don't know. I think that maybe in its original conception it was honest, but it's certainly been perverted. Certainly been perverted.
No one cares about the UN
anymore.
Else
next question. Yes, ma'am.
Can you comment on angels that are now saying there are no lights everywhere you look at it, and also the term walk-ins?
Okay. The question was, can I comment on angels and can I comment on walk-ins? As far as angels, the Andromedans consider anybody who has spirit to be an angel.
Even me?
You make your choices. You walk on one side or you walk on the other, or you find the middle path. Most of us are on one side or the other, and we're desperately looking for the middle path. It's just spirit. They're just folks on the other side, beings on the other side who are trying to help and influence us to make decisions for ourselves.
Yeah, the UN is a joke.
If any of these angels supposedly tell you that they have all the information and that they need to follow, you need to follow them, like i.e. Ramtha, you need to be very. You got to use more common sense and really trust your gut instinct, because this is all about.
Well, my gut instinct is telling me you're full of shit.
Our evolution. You know, if it's true that we've been on 11th density, then we have knowledge, we have experiences that none of these other races have. And we already know how
the aliens don't know how to set the timer on a VCR.
Do this. And we already know. And we just have to somehow find out those keys. Every single one of you in this room has a piece of this puzzle. Every single one of you. You know? And you gotta
Well, I'm not giving anybody my piece of the puzzle just to fuck everything up.
honor that piece that you have. And you've got to honor yourselves. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not awesome, because you are. You are so awesome. It's just beyond words.
You guys are totally awesome.
You know, they want to consider you a natural resource. You will only be that if you believe it. It's that simple. This does not have to be a major struggle.
It's going to be a struggle.
You know, unless we just stick our heads in the sand and go into denial.
Excellent!
I mean, how can you be in denial with all this stuff that's going on? I mean, it blows my mind.
What was happening in 96? Nothing was happening in 1996.
The regressives consider us a natural resource. They feed off of us. We make things for them. We produce for them. We create energy for
We
them.
make PS triples for all the Palladians.
They harvest our thoughts. They're channel.
You know, we can create things out of thin air, literally out of thin air, that they need technology to do. Everything in your life was made.
Like what? We can make anything just by thinking about it. Like what? Oh, and that tripped them up.
Was created, manufactured. Okay? Even the idea was created. Okay? Everything we've ever needed, this planet provided for us. How do you think it got that way?
I will be selling naked pictures of myself after this.
How do you think this planet knew exactly what to manifest?
That was clearly a ghost that just walks by.
And we would end up here and be able to use exactly what we needed. I don't know if I'm wording that right.
That's right. Oh shit! Alien interference.
Okay. Now these things are supposed to happen in the next 9 years, by 2004. Number 1, scientific proof of dimensions and higher self-consciousness. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your consciousness, your thoughts, who you are, is not in your brain. The only reason that our bodies have the brain is so that our soul, our greater selves, whatever it is, can make the body move. Okay? Your essence is in your energy field. It's in your aura. That's who you are. That's your life force.
Yeah, we need
That's
some
where
ghosts.
your consciousness is. It's not inside.
They didn't talk about souls though, and that's pretty close to ghosts.
This bone right here. It's here. It's all around you.
Yeah.
2,
Chakras and
reincarnation will be scientifically proven and demonstrated.
Reincarnation.
3,
The old folks love the idea of reincarnation. Sorry, old fellers.
acknowledgement of other life in the galaxy and universe. Ample proof already exists on
That's
Moon,
right.
Mars, and on the Earth. 4,
He's gonna end this speech with, "Be awesome to each other and party on, dudes." Or be excellent to each other. I'm sorry.
extraterrestrial contact from at least 9
Also
different
real?
races. That's going to blow some minds.
What do you say?
Introduction of free clean energy devices based on magnetic fields of energy.
If you look up free energy on YouTube, I used to do that just out of boredom, and it'd always be some asshole like, "Well, I put the magnets and crystals right here." Guys, all you need is magnets and crystals.
Of course, they'll be introduced. You notice the word there. They've already been built. That the Earth is hollow and capable of sustaining life, and the existence of a city known as Kal-Ni-Gor, which is in the hollow Earth, that was originally built by Lyrans.
What the fuck's a Lyran?
Lyrans were one of the original races of human beings.
Oh, thank you for asking. Tell him,
Number
punk rock.
7, rediscovery of the lost lands of Atlantis in the Atlantic and in the Pacific.
There's no
a very
Atlantis.
large temple complex still intact that belonged to Lemuria. Approximately 150
Atlantis will be discovered in Camden, New Jersey.
miles southwest of Easter Island. Well, that's going to blow some minds. Number 8. Reality that all we see in the physical is a holographic imprint directed and created from a higher portion of ourselves. Apparently, the next 18... Well, that's going to blow some minds. Number 8. Reality that all we see in the physical is a holographic imprint directed and created from a higher portion of ourselves. Apparently, the next 18, 19 years, we as a race are going to evolve over 150 years.
Yeah, but nothing happened, dude. Nothing happened. 9/11 and that was it.
It's going to be like that. Which is the way it should be. I mean, for every... I don't know if you're aware of this, but for every 2 years that passes, military technology advances 44 years. You have any idea the toys they have that you paid for?
They have a PS Triple in '96.
Of course, they don't want to let us play in the sandbox. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Would you go back to the one that you said just before you said we will evolve over 150 years in the next coming years?
In the next 18 years, we are supposed to evolve over 150 years.
And then there was a statement made before that. All that we see
in the physical is a holographic imprint directed and created from a higher portion of ourselves.
Yeah, it's just bullshit, lady. You don't need to hear it again.
Number 9. Human consciousness is not in the brain, but located in its entirety in the energy field and aura. This is the 1.5 to 5 ounces that the body loses at the moment of death.
No!
That's who you are.
Wasn't that proven fake? How you lose like some small, tiny amount of weight when you die?
That's the only part of you that's really you.
No!
You just create this to play the game here.
No!
Okay. Number 10. How our past and present educational processes have not prepared us to be completely conscious, creative thinkers.
Fuck you.
Number 11.
Oh, here we go.
That organic and plant life forms do exist on 7 planets and 15 moons in our solar system.
Fuck you.
Bullshit. I'm with that guy.
Yes, ma'am. Number 11. That organic and plant life forms do exist on 7 planets and 15 moons in our solar system.
What the heck?
Not true. Frank's on Phobos.
Now, just because we don't
They
have
call him Phobos Frank now.
the technology to pick it up doesn't mean it isn't there. Okay? Number 12. Rediscovery that each of us is a part of the whole of the universe, and we are a significant part of that idea that we call God. And that God is the idea called love.
They always do that. All these alien guys, they always get cheesy at the end where it's like, yeah, aliens, and they're gonna kill us all and steal our souls, and they poke in our bungholes and shit. Hey, but at the end, guys, it's all about love. Every time these new age homos say that shit.
Number 13. That this accelerating self-discovery being experienced was created and activated by all of us. So, well, sir, that's the $64,000 question. If you get the answer, will you call me and let me know?
More life than love?
I guess, you know, I guess it...
Well, what it is these guys are smart. They know they're preaching to a mostly female audience. Because like I said, the bitches were crazy about aliens in the 90s and 80s. So they always got to leave you with a nice feel-good message at the end because broads like that.
You know, I when I look at history and I look at where we are today, there's a history.
You know, the broads like it when you scare them, and then you let them off a little at the end.
History repeating itself, and you know, it's like a hamster that climbs on the wheel. No matter how fast he goes, as long as he stays on that wheel, he's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
So maybe we just needed to make a change. You know, maybe we're all sick and tired of this. You know, maybe we need like a vacation.
higher dimensions, but were there any difference in the way you live or see things?
My understanding, sir, is that they are different. Your consciousness is completely different. And this is important. There is a physicality on all dimensions.
Really?
Okay? Because there's a physicality.
That's right, exactly.
Different from us. For example, fifth density, we live in a color spectrum of 72 colors or light frequencies.
I don't blame people too much in the 90s for getting into this shit, because what else was there there's nothing else to do. You know what I mean? There's nothing to do in 96. You just go for the goof.
Fifth density is 214.
But, you know, watching it a shit ton of years later, you can look back and say, man, these guys are fucking full of shit.
That's a major shift. That's a major shift. Number 14, that we, as a product of extraterrestrial genetic manipulations, are possessors of a vast gene pool that has many different racial memory banks of at least 22
Acid was big in the 90s.
Extraterrestrial races in our DNA. Many different racial memory banks.
Uh-oh.
That means that when things get a little bit higher, our kids, you're going to start knowing things that you don't have any idea how you know. But you do know it. You will know languages that haven't been spoken on this planet for thousands and thousands of years. You will just know because it's inside of us.
We'll even learn Klingon?
We're a library. You know, Barbara Marciniak, her piece, they talk about this
Yeah,
as
but
well.
in 96, like, I was on the internet in 96. There's, like, nothing going on. Unless you wanted to, like, look at naked bitch pictures. Hey, let's look at a couple naked bitch pictures that take 2 years to download.
Well, and I think some of the other groups do.
The internet didn't get good till, like, 99.
Because of our genetic heritage, we are considered royalty. We need to acknowledge it, acknowledge ourselves, and seize our genetic heritage.
I need my genetic heritage.
Now, I'm going to end on this. I was having actually, I'm going to end on two things. I was having a particularly bad month.
Escape would suck ass.
Personal relationships and just everything else.
Uh-oh. Women trouble.
And it was time for me to come back here. I was living in Lake Arrowhead at the time, which is in Southern California. And I didn't want to come back. I flat just did not want to come back. So I got really upset. I started to cry, and I didn't want to come back.
Poor little guy.
And as I found myself on the ground again, I remember I heard Visayas' voice in the back of my head.
Uh-oh.
He said, "Turn around." I turned around, and he was at the door of the crowd.
And he was totally naked, with the biggest penis I've ever seen.
As it was starting to take off. And he looked at me and he said, "Alex, the love that you withhold is the pain that you carry, lifetime after lifetime."
And I looked at him and said,
"That's awesome."
And I just want to pass that on to you. Because nothing else that they have said has changed me.
Let's be honest, you stole that from a fortune cookie.
More significantly than that. Yes, the love that you withhold is the pain that you carry, lifetime after lifetime.
Come on, that lady asking him to repeat it. Lady, I know it's 1996, but come on. Come on.
That dog comics. You disturbed me a while ago. You didn't have a cat, and yet you just defined your cat. What gave you the idea that you did not have a cat?
It's a belief in oneself, sir. I think that's what it is. It's a belief in oneself.
A belief in the God in you.
Well, yeah. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. I'm trying not to give all of myself away here. Hold on. I want to end up
The guy, I think that guy was grilling him on something.
with this.
He's like, okay, I got to get out of here now.
Squeaking and squawking. I once asked Visayas.
Wrong microphone.
I once asked Visayas.
Put that one.
Yes, don't forget to buy my book and my calendar where every month I'm in a new provocative pose.
I once asked Visayas, okay, what was our future going to be? You know, the future of us here on Earth. And this was his response. This is the Andromedan definition of our future, us as a race.
Your future is going to be wearing shitty suits, going to shithole towns with a weed whacker haircut.
Responsible freedom of self-determination.
Whoa.
Becoming truly self-confident and free to unconditionally be responsible for oneself without being coerced to accept some higher authority.
The loaf that you would hold, that you withhold, is a pain we carry from lifetime to lifetime. You remember that enough to write that down?
One more time. Responsible freedom of self-determination.
Okay.
Folks, thank you.
Lady, don't write this down. Come on.
For coming. Becoming truly self-confident and
Buy
free
my book.
to unconditionally be responsible for oneself without being coerced to accept some higher authority. Ladies and gentlemen, you're awesome.
Whatever that meant, dude. Get out.
Don't let anybody tell you different. Go out there and
see
kick
the positive message. You're totally awesome, guys.
Yes, thank you.
That is a mangy mullet.
Hold it. I want you to know about this. When Alex and Carla came, I told them they could have a table with tapes, books, as most speakers do. They do not do that. They live on a sort of a faith way of living, but they do have people in California who handle their tapes. And these free brochures are up here and other things.
Oh, we gave out free brochures for their tape. This guy's so lazy, he couldn't even bring his own tapes.
Or in this Andromedan, the letter from Andromeda, which is free, and it's up here on the front table. So you can pick that up into these. Also, if you want a copy of the directory of membership.
What a load of crap. Guys, that might have been the worst one yet. And that's saying something. Hanford, lights! I said lights! Thank you, Hanford. Alright, guys. What a load of shit. That was way worse than a lot of them. Well, last week was probably the worst. Those plane pictures. Ugh. But I think we all learned something, guys. We learned something about the Andromedan Council, guys. And that is worth its weight in gold. So, hey, I'll see you later or something, everybody. Brr.